Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and I am at the monthly Cars and Coffee event here at the DuPont Registry in sunny St. Pete, Florida. Walking around, you can see it's been dying down. The show's coming to an end. When lo and behold, when I thought there wasn't anything else to look at, I came across this 2002 Viper. Not only any Viper, a Viper GTS, but not only any GTS, an ACR. So let me give you a little bit of history lesson about the Viper. Viper came out into the scene in the early 90s. The first early models were just roadsters, no actual hardtop roof, no side windows, no outside door handles, no door locks. It was meant to hark back to the early days of the 427 Cobras and the 289 Cobras. It makes sense because Carroll Shelby with Lee Iacocca had worked together to get this car designed, so there is a lot of resemblance to that old Cobra and Daytona coupe. Eventually in 1996 they came out with the Viper GTS. That was a Viper coupe. Now it had lost the side exhaust, but what it gained was better sound and definitely that coupe styling that a lot more people went after. What's wonderful about this car is that it's finished off in that wonderful red with white racing stripes, which if you were a fan of endurance racing in the 1990s, that's the official factory color of the Dodge Viper race team, which even won the 2000 overall Daytona 24-hour race. But anyways, enough of history. Let's take a look at this ACR. So if I was gonna go get a Viper, it would be first generation. This is the last year of the first generation. I love the styling. I really like I keep telling you, I'm all about logos and brands. I like the Viper logo, how it is positioned and the styling of it. You can see the fangs there. Very aggressive. I do also like the way they decided to put the central scoop here. That really brings that functionality. It's not just about form, it's also about functionality to it. So very nice look, fully functional. As you can see on the hood, now remember this hood is gonna open backwards, very similar to like a C4 Corvette. It's gonna show off that V10, which very shortly we're gonna open up the hood of this one. I like the aerodynamic vents on the side, and then as we work our way around, one thing that was very specific to the ACR were these wheels. These wheels with the paint really pop. I like the style. You could see the Viper logo on the 4-piston calipers. This owner really has kept this car in original condition. Very well done. This is an 18-inch wheel. They're forged, which means they're going to be lighter. As we continue here, you can see the Viper GTS logo, ACR. What does that stand for? A lot of people always wonder. It's American Club Racer. There were many people who took these cars, also other Dodge ACR products, went and entered SCCA competitions, road racing, autocross, and really did a lot of butt whooping because not only was it about power underneath the hood, but also suspension, brakes, and everything else. This car is even going to be lighter than your standard GTS, so that's another nice feature. But like I said, you're going to see this hood very shortly open up. V10, pushrod engine, 460 horsepower. Very well done for back then. As we work our way back, you can see the styling. I really love the shape of the roof. I'm not going to show you the inside yet. We're going to have the owner open up the door in a second. But what I do like is I love the gas fueler door. This really harks back to those Daytona coupe days. Endurance racing gives it a nice racy look, and just I wish more cars had those touches. As we work our way to the back, the way that they work the aerodynamics, it's like this duckbill spoiler here as it kicks up, functional, but also just looks the part. And then there, like I said, is the rear end. This is one of 34. They only made 34 ACRs. God knows where the rest of them are, but here's one, and not only an ACR, but one that is in perfect condition. There's the dual exhaust outlets out the back. Remember, the early Viper Roadsters had side exhaust. Eventually, the side exhaust would make a return, but I really like the style, and it really helped with the sound of it. If you're ready, I'm ready to check out that V10 underneath the hood. Let's check it out. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of this 2002, not only, like I said, a Viper GTS, but a Viper GTS R. Ultra rare. And what makes this even more special, this car only has about 12,000, 13,000 miles on it. Look underneath the hood. There is that V10, that Viper V10. It's a damn shame that Dodge decided to kill off the Viper because we need more unique engines like this. This is a push rod. You can see on the intake plenum how beautiful everything is weaved. The injector plugs and everything all set up. Very, very nicely done. This thing is so clean, I could eat my breakfast off of this engine. And you can see with the way that the hood opens, you get a lot of access underneath the hood. Now, some people, when the Viper first came out, they weren't crazy about the sound of the engine, but like I said, by 2002, with that rear exhaust, they have such a distinctive sound. Like I said earlier, I remember being at Daytona and watching them go by during the 24 hours of Daytona, and you just know when you heard a Viper because it's an unforgettable sound. Tons of power, but not only are you going to have the power with the ACR package, you're getting the stiffer springs, you're getting the different suspension geometry, you're getting the whole complete package that only a handful of people are going to be proud enough to say that they have one. But anyways, underneath the hood is great, power is great. Let's check out what's different between a GTS and a GTS ACR on the inside. So here we are about to take you inside this 2002 Viper ACR. Let's go ahead and drop down because to get in this car, you're gonna drop into it. Let's go ahead and drop down. You can see the styling back then. You know, I know some of the younger people on here might say, oh, that interior, where's the infotainment system? Where is all the radio and all the big speakers? That's not what this car is about. This car was about raw performance, and it was about being performance centered. If you look, you can see the nice quad gauges across the top there. Very, very nicely done. Gives you all the info readouts that you need. I'm gonna have Tom swing it around and show you the seats. These are Viper seats that have ACR specific racing harnesses. These are SCCA certified. This car, you could go take it from the dealer, bring it to a racetrack, and what's crazy is they're not 4-point racing harnesses, they're 5-point racing harnesses. That's the one where you're gonna get the sub belt that comes up in between your legs to lock in. So this car is made for performance. I'm gonna go ahead and have Tom, we're gonna do a swap and have Tom come over to the driver's side because I really want you to see the foot box, how the pedals are set up and everything. So I'll see you in a second. All right, now it's time to see the business side where the driver sits. We're gonna go ahead and drop down since this car is so low. We're gonna drop down. You can see, I tell you, I look at this car and it brings me back to the days when I was in college, when I was in high school, when they first came out with the Viper and I was drooling all over Car and Driver, Road and Track magazines, looking at this amazing machine. You can see how it's so driver focused. And you know, I think we've moved away from that simplicity of just having nice analog gauges, wonderful readouts. You could see that wonderful shifter there. That it's like the actual size of the shifter itself, how tall it is. It's a perfect height. I like having a round shift knob. It really makes it easier to palm the shift knob as you shift. Because remember, if you're driving a car like this, especially, you don't want to manhandle that shifter. You want to be nice and gingerly with it. I'm going to have Tom go ahead and pan down to those pedals. One thing that was very unique about the Vipers, especially the early ones, is how the pedals are skewed to the right. So when you get into one of these cars, don't think that you're just going to drive away and not have to get a little situated on your bearings, because this car is going to be different than your Corvette, definitely different than your Porsche, but it's all about that rawness, and that's what I like to see. But anyways, if these are the types of cars that you like to see on Raity's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit subscribe yet, I'm still trying to figure out what are you waiting for. Hit that subscribe button. If you have subscribed, thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for being part of this family. We're going one way, and that way is up. Check out my website, raitysrides.com, my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages, all Raity's Rides original content all the time. I want to give a huge shout out to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. We got Chris Frank, my other camera guy, who's standing behind Tom, just wishing that his arms were as big as Tom's. But remember, Tom has a purpose here. December 1st, he's going to be in a power weightlifting competition. So let's give a big shout out for Tom. Thank you for all that you guys do for the channel with your comments, the sharing. I love where we're going. Get yourself a Raity's Rides t-shirt. They're 15 bucks. Support the cause. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.